dominating the sports market, that basically brushed PES aside, and basically they wanted PES to be at the bottom of their chute and they could step on it and kind of get it away. People have these moments where it gets fun and then it dies and then it gets fun and then it dies and then it gets fun and then it dies, and then after the end of the season FIFA just dies, and you get to the point where before the new FIFA comes out that you would be in a situation where you would rank up against one of the same rank as you, and then it's all about trying to see who is the better player. You know, it is nowhere near fair if I am in like Silver 1 and I come up against a top 100 player who have like collapsed playing it, who have suffered mental health issues playing it. A game should never ever get you to that point. It should never ever get you to that point. And just like listen to yourself, right? Oh, I know, let's create a weekend league access, because in the daily knockout tournament, if you get booted out of it and you're in a winning position in the final, baiting us with these packs and with these lightning round of packs to try and solve problems and keep us a piece. And we're falling for it because we spend the money and open the packs. And we are recording. So, first podcast of 2018, I'm talking about the death of a video game and the controversial side of FIFA and EA's dark side. I mean, you just can't pick them, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say hello, welcome to the DJ Bagpuss Show. Oh yes, it's the first podcast of 2018. You thought I forgot about this series? Of course, I didn't forget about this series. I absolutely love doing these podcasts. I'm just sitting down and talking for like a long period of time. It's just a great feeling, ain't it, guys? It's just a great feeling, and you know, the DJ Bagpuss Show has a special bond from me to you. It's just, I absolutely love it. So we are back for the first set of brand new podcasts to start 2018. I know I've not been doing as many podcasts as I did last year, but I promise you that even though we're going to be doing maybe less in terms of quantity of podcasts, the quality is going to be even better than before, and we're just going to be doing more and more podcasts, and season 2 is well in its way. And I just want to quickly start this podcast by saying I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, for the fact that we are yet again talking about something that kind of is minute and will single out the large proportion of my audience, which I do apologise for, because basically like in the first episode we talked about the controversial side of YouTube, and although for people that are interested in kind of the behind the scenes life of look of what YouTubers do behind the camera, other people on my channel and my audience simply just don't really care about that, incidentally. It's not a bad thing, but that podcast wouldn't have entertained them as much as like in my second podcast, one that we did just before Christmas, talk about Christmas. You all seem to enjoy that because everybody can relate to it. You know, this podcast, you're only going to really enjoy it if you play FIFA and can relate to the issues that I talk about in this podcast. So I just want to say I do apologise that I'm singling out some people doing this podcast. The next podcast, the kind of next few kind of podcasts that we're going to be doing, is going to be something that basically everybody can enjoy, incidentally, and I do promise you that. Like I will be getting back to doing something that all of the lovely people in the audience on my channel will be able to enjoy that. So if you play FIFA, then this podcast is basically a late Christmas present for you, and if you don't play it, then just, I mean, I've got loads of other videos that you can check out, other podcasts as well that are, fun for all the family. So I do apologise, or just stay and have a, lovely look at my beautiful, lovely little smile. Also, just before we get this podcast on the way, I want to show you guys something that I got basically at Christmas. Okay, and it is a brand new logo, right? So this little bad boy is my new channel sign. So you see I've got the channel sign that was created by my sister up there to the right, and then my channel logo to the left, or left, right. I mean, I'm not really good with my left and rights, but basically this is what I got for Christmas. You see loads of YouTubers used to do it, and it says DJ Bagpuss Show Live. The only problem is I don't really know where I'm going to put it. I want to mount it on the wall, but we're redecorating this studio like in a couple of months time, so I don't want to put it up and then redecorate it and have to take it off again. So I need to work out where I'm going to put that incidentally. I'm going to put it over here, out of shots, out of sight and out of mind, but yeah, it is a really, really nice gift, and that is going to look pretty beautiful once it goes up. So, we are talking about the death of FIFA and the dark side of EA, basically, and I really wanted to do this podcast for a long time. Like, I'm not just thinking, I woke up this morning and thought, oh, I'm going to talk about FIFA. I've had this podcast I've planned for around about, I'd say, cool, blimey, I've had it planned for around about 3 to 4 months, incidentally, and I kind of wanted to do this for a very, very long time, but then when the fixed FIFA saga happened in around October, the smart kind of business mind of me was say to get that video out when the Fix FIFA saga was relevant to kind of cash in on the views. But like I said, I wanted to wait. I wanted to see what the Fix FIFA saga in terms of it calming down. I wanted to see kind of the beginning, the middle and the aftermath, and I wanted to see how it was going to play out incidentally rather than just do a video and basically just do something that everybody else was doing. So I've had this plan for a long time, and I'm not just going to talk about the Fix FIFA saga. I want to talk about kind of the launch of Ultimate Team and how it's kind of changed and expanded, how Ultimate Team exploded, and the way that EA run Ultimate Team, kind of the thoughts in the game, the esports, the Fix FIFA saga, and then finally how EA can make FIFA back to the greatest sports game ever, incidentally. Like I said, it's a very niche market, but people that play FIFA, I feel, are really going to enjoy this podcast. And like I said, I feel like it's going to be one that anyone who plays FIFA will relate to these problems, incidentally. And, I mean, it's kind of, I'm being very hypocritical at this particular moment, because on one hand I'm saying that FIFA's dying, and yet as a content creator who makes FIFA content and plays FIFA pretty much every single day, in fact at the minute it's the only game, apart from that and Fortnite are the only two games I play, I am being a little bit of a hypocrite, and that is part of the problem. Us as the consumers, on one hand we're complaining, but on the other hand we are kind of moaning and kind of just, we want change, but yet we still give EA what they want. I'm going to get to all of that, and we're going to dissect and analyse all of this stuff during this podcast, incidentally. And I'm really interested to hear what you guys have had to say. I've been really interested to hear what other content creators have had to say on the matter, because this isn't just something that has cropped up over the last couple of days. It's not just something that's kind of, snowballed and cascaded over a couple of days. This has been something that has been kind of 5-6 years over a long period, and as kind of EA and Ultimate Team has got to this absolute monstrosity and top pedigree, the problems have seemed to rise and meet it, incidentally. And you can kind of understand why that happens, because obviously as a game gets more popular, as a brand in Ultimate Team draws more followers, more gamers, and grows in terms of its audience and market, and incidentally the more money that EA are getting, obviously the more people that are on something, the more problems that are going to fall down, incidentally. And it's about getting that 50-50 balance. But FIFA, unlike any other game, incidentally, and like all the other games out there, every single game that you think has a host of problems, and those problems tend to be, you either get games that are just flooded with problems to the point where they are just unplayable, and like developers and companies have to kind of withhold copies of the game, get copies back, make those changes, and then basically re-release the game if the game has that many problems. But you will also see that games, and FIFA kind of falls into the latter of these two scenarios, that FIFA is a place which has a whole host of problems, but yet because us as the consumers plough in hours upon hours of our time and money into the game, that those problems will never ever be kind of fixed, incidentally. And I mean, don't get me wrong, EA are in a much better position now to where they were kind of, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, where us as the consumers, a lot like YouTube, we wouldn't get told anything whatsoever. We wouldn't be told about changes, we wouldn't be told if they're making any updates to or any patches to the glitches and all of the problems. Where now EA have got into the sense that they're really talking to their fan base, telling us kind of the problems in the game, using the feedback that we give EA to implement and patch certain areas that are problematic in the game, incidentally. But it doesn't change the fact that these problems have been recurring for many years, and there's only one way that we're going to fix these problems, but it's not going to fix the problem instantly. Like, it's a really difficult one. But I want to start by talking about how Ultimate Team exploded before getting into kind of the decline of it, because for every decline there is a rise, and in life you kind of have to get that 50-50 balance of when something has risen to the top of its game, that has got to kind of the essence and the very kind of peakness of its craft, it's very rare that something will stay at the top of that. It will fall down, it will transcend, it will come down, incidentally. And every kind of art that is popular in life has that, whether it's TV shows that have had a fantastic first kind of 3-4 seasons, and then as it draws into its latter seasons it falls down and it declines. Football teams, in terms of their decline, everything in life has a decline, and a decline, you could say, is a form of life. Us as human beings, we, are born, we grow up, we kind of rise and rise and rise and rise in terms of our age, in terms of our experience, in terms of all the things that we do. And then as we get older, we decline, and we kind of keep declining until we're dead. So, I mean, that's a very, very kind of dark and bleak and depressing kind of similarity and, simile and metaphor, if you like. See, I'm popping up all of the English quotes here, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a very bleak and dark metaphor to compare to a video game. But it's true, every kind of popular art has some kind of decline, and, Ultimate Team is no exception. When you look at how Ultimate Team started way back in FIFA 2009 to where it is now in FIFA 18, it's absolutely madness. Absolutely madness. It is probably where, I mean, FIFA has so many different aspects. And what's the beauty of FIFA is that it's, a video game that is a representation of the actual football game. It tries to be realistic in matching what a real football match is, but it's a simulator. It's simulating the real matchday football experience, and to do that, it has many different aspects. It has career mode, it has pro clubs, it has online seasons, online friendlies, but Ultimate Team is kind of the app or the game mode, if you like, on FIFA that has made it such a global brand today. Like, without Ultimate Team, FIFA would not be anywhere near what it is today. Not just from a business sense, but kind of the money that EA make from Ultimate Team, the esports, kind of how EA use, the competitive gaming and FUT champions to make normal gamers, professional gamers, and give them a staggering amount of money. I mean, this weekend, the day that I'm recording this, we've literally just had the FIFA Interactive World Cup, where a 16-year-old has gone on to win, $250,000, and without Ultimate Team, opportunities like that won't come about. For us as YouTubers, for myself, we have, and there's been, not just me, because I don't just do FIFA videos, but there's been YouTubers that have made a name for themselves and become famous because of their FIFA videos. KSI, when he started back in the day, and we spoke about this before, when he started, all he was doing was FIFA videos, and it kind of cascaded him into this absolutely, insane YouTube, phenomenon. He basically went famous overnight with the funny sketches that he did on FIFA. And, FIFA and YouTube interacts really, really well, just like Twitter and, FIFA Ultimate Team interacts really, really well. And I don't think even EA knew the success of Ultimate Team. And I think now they're in a position where they must be counting their lucky stars, and they must be so happy that Ultimate Team was something that they thought about doing, because there was no way that they anticipated how it was going to take off. Because obviously, I mean, in the early days, Ultimate Team was kind of an additional piece of content. You had to basically buy and go out of your way to get it. Now it's just part of the game, and us as gamers, we get EA we get FIFA incidentally because of Ultimate Team. I mean, there's people like me who plays career mode, pro club, season. I play all kind of the game modes on FIFA. But Ultimate Team really is where I've spent, pretty much 95% of my time. And I think a lot of gamers would admit that a lot of us spend a lot amount of time on Ultimate Team. And that is because it's an addictive, spine-tingling, it's a fantastic game. And at the core, it is truly a brilliant game mode. And it is giving us countless hours of fun. We've spent loads of money on it. Myself, I've spent a ridiculous amount of money over the years on Ultimate Team. And that is because I love it, I enjoy it, and it's got so many different aspects to it. You're gambling, you're playing, you're building, you're exposing, you're trading. It's got so many different aspects and layers that makes Ultimate Team such a great game that it isn't, you don't even have to enjoy Ultimate Team just by playing, actual games. You could easily just trade and open packs and still have a great time playing Ultimate Team. So it is absolutely, at the core, it's a brilliant, brilliant game. But basically, if we go back right to the roots of how Ultimate Team came about, and it's around about, I'd say, Ultimate Team kicked off at around FIFA 2009. That is when Ultimate Team first launched. It was kind of FIFA 2011 that it started to gain momentum and it kind of took off. But it was FIFA 2009 when they implemented Ultimate Team. But I want to go even further back if we go to 2006. Because at that time, there was a almost like if you remember the console wars between PS4 and Xbox One, this in itself was the, if you like, the football wars, incidentally, because obviously FIFA launched in 1994, and you had FIFA 94, then you had FIFA Road to the World Cup in 1998 that kind of took EA into this kind of multi-million global pound industry with FIFA, and then from kind of 2000 for the last 18 years, almost 2 decades, we've had a regular FIFA each year. And the early FIFA game, I have played, obviously I wasn't into football, and when FIFA like 2002 came out, I was 4 years old, and I wasn't playing FIFA back then, obviously, because I got into football later on in life. But basically what happened was I went back once I got into football, and I had like a PS2. I bought all the old FIFA games, and like FIFA 2002, 2003, 2004 and 2005 were very, very good FIFA games. You kind of had, it was all about career mode, and this is how I started my FIFA kind of game and my career. Incidentally, I was all about career mode, and it was very different back then, career mode, but there was no ultimate team. You could play against other people, but you could only really play against your friends, and it was kind of a one-dimensional online gameplay. Like, you could play against, I don't think you could anyway, I don't think you could play against other people in the world. And if you did, you had to play like with the Arsenal, with Chelsea, Manchester United. It wasn't the team that you built. You couldn't do that. You either were taking control of a team and playing their games, or playing online against people trying to win football. Instead, it was very, very simple. And it kind of, what I say is sometimes the most simple things are always the best. And that was probably what FIFA and why it excelled so much in its early years, because you had a game mode and you had a game that was simple, that kind of did what it said on the tin. It was a FIFA game, it was a simulator that simulated real football matches, and you could play them. And happy days, there wasn't really many, like if you look in towards kind of the back end of the 90s going into 2000, there wasn't really a definitive football game to play. It was very much like before Call of Duty came along, there wasn't really a definitive action shooter to play. It was before Medal of Honor and Call of Duty came around. There wasn't really a definitive game on that market. And back in the day, it was more puzzle solving games, and it was way more games where, almost a bit like Fortnite now, which we've kind of gone back to, like in the early 90s, forget first person shooters, forget kind of MMO RPG games or sports games, anything like that. It was mainly more strategic games that kind of dominated the market. And then obviously FIFA came along, Call of Duty came along, kind of gave gamers a brand new perspective of life, and it gave them something to cheer about. But on the other side of what was happening at EA, you also had Pro Evolution Soccer, which tried to match EA and FIFA and try and overtake them in profit sales. So it's almost like the repetition of the console wars. You had kind of, on one hand, FIFA doing what they were doing, and EA and kind of dominating the football market. But then you had kind of PES on the side. Kamari, who are the developers at Pro Evolution Soccer, they were on the side thinking, I want a bit of this. Like, they're all gathered around the table thinking, right, boys, we need to try and match EA and FIFA, and we need to ensure that we need to kind of overtake them. What can we do? How can we get above and beyond FIFA? How can we overtake them at being the football game of the definitive kind of decade? How can we do this? And boys, brainstorm. What have you got thinking? What have you got going? The problem that PES had in its early years is that the simple truth of the matter is it didn't have the licenses. And Pro Evolution Soccer has not had the licenses. That's one thing that EA and FIFA have shone at. They got the licenses very, very early on. And, as gamers, and I can't speak for every gamer here, but myself, I would rather want to play with the actual proper Arsenal team than London FC. And in PES, you didn't have that luxury. Now, obviously, Pro Evolution Soccer have got the Champions League rights. They've got the Barcelona now. You used to be able to play the Nou Camp in FIFA. Now PES have got the rights to that. So, it's kind of, they're matching EA. But back in kind of 2004, 5, 6, they didn't have any kind of rights, and they didn't have any of they couldn't basically, I don't even know if they could afford the rights, or they couldn't negotiate with EA to have kind of 50-50 split. But they didn't have any of the licenses, so you had to play as London FC, and you're basically playing with players from like Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, but they weren't official. It wasn't the official team. But in PES 2006 and 2007, when they came out, even though PES did not have the licenses, they were very, very addictive and fun games to play. What PES kind of threw into the works is that PES tried to work and overhaul the gameplay. That was the big thing for PES. You know, they wanted to have a game mode which was fun, easy, and just like was much more fun than FIFA, because even though FIFA had the licenses, they had some criticisms that their gameplay wasn't as fun as it ought to be. When PES 2006 and 2007 came along, you know, it was fun. It was better gameplay than FIFA, and the demographic, the gaming demographic who played FIFA and PES retrospectively, saw that and acknowledged it. And in those kind of 2 years, PES overtook FIFA, and in terms of sales, I mean, it was very, very close. You know, I'm talking about kind of FIFA was probably on like, you know, I don't know, 60%. PES was on 40%. And then kind of PES got to FIFA and it was like a 50-50 split. And then PES slightly overtook FIFA, so it was like 60% of players were playing PES, 40% were playing FIFA, and like FIFA wanted to go above and beyond them. And it's been a running theme and fight that we've seen for the last kind of decade, you know, 10, 12 years we've seen this fight. But it was because PES had, you know, better graphics, they had a better game, it was more fun, it was more easy, it responded better. And EA were like, no, we need something, because at that time they were excelling on the career mode. They had they had all the licenses, they had a fantastic soundtrack. Another thing that EA actually excelled in, like the FIFA soundtracks over the years, has produced some of the greatest songs of all time, and they host some of the greatest bands that the world has ever seen. So FIFA have always been on top in that respect. Gameplay, I say FIFA started being the better game, and then PES kind of overtook them. And EA basically, they needed something. They needed something that could entice and draw all the people that were kind of toying in between of having, you know, going to FIFA, going to PES. They wanted something, and they wanted to have a game which, you know, was dominating the sports market, that basically brushed PES aside, and basically they wanted PES to be at the bottom of their shoe and they could step on it and kind of get it away. People were always going to play PES because Pro Evolution Soccer was just a good game. Instead, like they've always had good graphics and good gameplay. But, you know, if EA wanted to be the lead in front, and that is when FIFA Ultimate Team was born. They needed something to make their game great, and they came up with FIFA Ultimate Team. Now, it's a genius idea. I mean, I don't really know how people didn't think of it sooner. And I think had PES got to that idea first and foremost, then we would be talking about the death of PES and the dark side of, you know, Kamari. EA beat PES to that idea, and PES kind of responded with their own club, but it's nowhere near as good as Ultimate Team, and nothing will ever be as good as Ultimate Team. Like, you could play, you know, 100, 200, 500, you know, sports games that have a very similar kind of game mode to FIFA Ultimate Team, but you are never ever going to get to the glory of what Ultimate Team is. And when Ultimate Team started in FIFA 2009, that wasn't really where the glory days of it were, because it was additional DLC. You had to pay for it, and, you know, everybody knows if you're a game with downloadable content, it's simply content that comes out during the game's lifespan. So you pay for the game, you buy the game, you bring it home, and then if you want to enhance your game experience or access a feature that you simply cannot access, you can buy it with actual money, you know, and download it through either your Xbox or your PlayStation, and you get it. You know, that is how you get FIFA points. You know, it's an in-game currency that you put real money on. You get fake FIFA points, and you can use those FIFA points to open packs or play game modes such as Draft. And downloadable content has always kept a game thriving. It keeps, you know, revenue coming into the game and the company, because obviously when you first buy a game, you know, most of the money that, so say like this year when FIFA 18 came out, everybody went to buy FIFA 18, so initially loads and people at EA receive a bucket load of cash from the sales that are made from copies of FIFA 18, which are like, great, like, boys, we've done it again, we've got an absolute, you know, sale. FIFA Friday is like people at EA get a brand new bloody Lamborghini or a Ferrari. You know, it's a day where they make a lot of money. And what EA then do is they get an additional bit of money from people who, what is the first thing you do when you get an Ultimate Team and you've got money? You buy FIFA points to get packs. So they get another, kind of thrust of money thrown at them because of FIFA points. And then when these promos come out during the year, they get even more money, like Team of the Season, Team of the Year. So, downloadable content keeps the game thriving. Another game like Fortnite, free to play, it brought, a huge audience to the game, and what the team at Fortnite thought is that our best way to keep this game running and actually make money from it, because obviously you make some kind of money because a free game on like Xbox Live Gold and PSN, you have to pay for the membership. I don't know if you still have to pay for PlayStation, so technically Fortnite is completely free on PlayStation, but for Xbox, we pay a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription for Xbox. So that is how Fortnite, it's technically, even though it's a free game, it wasn't free, if that makes sense. But what Fortnite did is that they put in downloadable content that you could buy to enhance your game. And if you're really passionate about a game, you're going to spend money on it. And obviously, if you've got the money, you're going to spend money on it. So, games have always done that. They've always brought downloadable content to the works, and they've always managed to, they've always managed to keep revenue coming in because of the things that they, offer to the gamer. And us as gamers, we're greedy. And, particularly with FIFA, once we start, we cannot stop. But in FIFA 2009, you had to pay for it with DLC, and even though people were playing it, not many people actually did play. I didn't play Ultimate Team with FIFA 2009. Like I said, I started on career mode, and then it was kind of towards the later stage of FIFA that I got into Ultimate Team. But it was FIFA 11 when it became free, and that is when it took off. FIFA 11 is kind of where I first had an Ultimate. Well, I didn't actually tell a lot. I didn't have an Ultimate Team in FIFA 11. It was FIFA 12. Because I've played 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, this is my 8th year on Ultimate Team. I didn't actually play Ultimate Team with FIFA 2011. I think I might have started it because it was free, but I don't remember any memories of playing FIFA 11 Ultimate Team. FIFA 12 was when I kind of really started to play Ultimate Team. And even then, it was really FIFA 14 where I took it really, really seriously. But FIFA 11 was when the FIFA community started to grow together. That was when KSI started making videos, Chris MD, Cal Freezy, all of the big YouTubers that that is where kind of the YouTube FIFA community started to grow a bit of pace. That was when Ultimate Team started to really take off, and it was then where I think at that point, as soon as EA made it a free game, I don't think they could anticipate what was going to happen, but I don't think in a million years they would have thought, wow. I mean, like, it just blew up overnight. It was one of those things where if you weren't playing Ultimate Team on FIFA, it was considered very, very weird. And I fell into this category because for many, many, many years when I was speaking to my old mates, not my current mates I have now, but when I was with my other group of friends and they were playing FIFA Ultimate Team, I was like urged every single day to start an Ultimate Team. And at that point, I was so into Call of Duty, I was loving Call of Duty. And on FIFA, I was literally just playing career mode, and I love career mode because it was great. I was playing with my Arsenal team, and I was always, I don't know, I never really thought Ultimate Team was going to be any good, but then obviously I got to the point where I just kind of gave up and decided to play Ultimate Team, and then kind of from that day, a lovely relationship blossomed, incidentally. I'm going to have a bit of my cup of tea because I've already been chatting for around about, I think, like half an hour. Just like literally doing a podcast. If you sat down and spoke for an hour and a half by yourself, you think, oh, what am I going to talk about for an hour and a half? But honestly, it is, time literally flies, and we've nearly done section 1 already. Just absolutely crazy. Bear with me a moment, guys. I actually also got a Call of Duty mug. In the first 2 podcasts, I've done my Cruella de Vil mug, which, well, it isn't mine, but it's my mother's, but it's kind of, I always want a big cup of tea when I'm doing the podcast because my mouth gets really, really dry. And this cup was always dirty. Every single time it was always dirty, and I had to go with a Cruella de Vil mug, which was a little bit like questionable because that mug made me look like a mug. So, was I trying to announce something or something? So, yeah, thank God that's actually clean for a change today. And also, you can download this podcast to SoundCloud. Completely forgot about the SoundCloud. Pretty bad for me, as I've got the podcast running on SoundCloud. So, thank you for the people that do listen on SoundCloud and download the podcast. This one will be available as soon as this goes live on my channel. But back to FIFA. So, yeah, FIFA 11 was really kind of where, it took off and where kind of the community started to grow. But even back in FIFA 11, there were underlying problems. There were problems that were honestly really getting exploited. But because the FIFA community was still growing, and it wasn't growing in terms of numbers, it was still, I mean, even though it was getting larger in terms of the community, it was still in its early stages, so it isn't like it is now where the entire community can brand together and really, you know, create something that can change the face of the game. We didn't really have that back in kind of FIFA 11, FIFA 12. You know, it was sort of, as we got to kind of FIFA 14, 15, as Ultimate Team got bigger and better and went from strength to strength every single year, that was when we started to see kind of the community speak out in volumes. Back in the day, we really didn't have that because people were still kind of getting onto Ultimate Team. They still didn't really know what it was, and they were still kind of learning and practicing it. Because obviously now, if you've played Ultimate Team for kind of 7-8 years with me, like me, you know what you're getting year in, year out. You know, when you first start Ultimate Team, it takes a little while to get kind of used to what you're doing and actually care about it. I mean, when I was playing FIFA 12, FIFA 13, before kind of FIFA 14, I did not care at all about my Ultimate Team. I didn't care about the games, I didn't care about my record, I didn't care about what players I got. I had no idea what I was doing, incidentally. It was only kind of as I've got into my later years playing Ultimate Team that I've actually understood what I'm doing and actually really care about it kind of as a proper game point of view. But then, from FIFA 11, it got bigger and better every year. EA implemented brand new things and features every single year. They made the game bigger and better than ever, and obviously as EA throw more stuff onto the table, as the community grows and expands even further, as the YouTuber community takes off, it just got to a point where it just snowballed and spiraled into something huge, like a multi-million-pound platform that it is now, that players from all around the world are playing. You know, if you've got, and I don't want to be, you know, stereotypical or sexy, but if you've got a son or daughter who's got a console, you'd be pretty much certain that FIFA is played in probably every household that has a son or a daughter who has an Xbox and is actually into football. You know, if you're into football and you've got a console and you're a gamer, the chances are you play either FIFA or PES, and I'm pretty sure that FIFA is probably played in most households, if I'm not much mistaken. And the reason why that is because it is so popular. You know, FIFA Ultimate Team is not just addictive, but, and that is really important, you know, the best games are the ones that you play for hours and hours and hours and just lose countless hours and days. You know, Ultimate Team is one of those things where you can start an Ultimate Team session at around maybe, I say, 10 PM, and if you don't check the time or you just don't care about the time, I'm pretty sure you could play it till around about 10 o'clock in the morning without even having a break. It is so addictive, and now more than ever there are so many things to do. You know, you're never ever bored. Well, I mean you are, but like there are so many things in terms of game modes that you can play, even though that for us that can get boring at times. But I mean, that, like I said, there's so many aspects. You know, packs. I mean, packs in itself, in a game mode, is just genius. It is absolutely genius. From a business standpoint of view, it is absolutely golden. I mean, you know, pack openings on YouTube are probably what attracts and obtains the most amount of viewership. You know, packs makes EA a ridiculous amount of money, and it keeps Ultimate Team alive, incidentally. And basically what packs are is that, obviously in your Ultimate Team you have virtual cards, and I've said this before when I did my very first FIFA video on this YouTube channel, but basically kind of it's a place where you have virtual cards that are like different levels. So you've got bronze, silver, golds. You know, they can be between 0 and 99 rated. The higher the rating, the better the player. The more, and you know, each player can be sold to a transfer market for virtual coins. And obviously, the better the player, the higher the price they are, and the more coins you can make. The more coins you've got, the better team that you can get. And then you build a team, and you use that team to play in a variety of game modes. And you can also trade to basically make more coins in a short space of time at actually playing the game. So there's so many things to do. Packs and trading is kind of a game mode in itself, because packs is almost like, you know, youngsters gambling, incidentally, because you can either open packs with, you know, your in-game currencies, which you either make from playing the game, from trading, or buying FIFA points, because the packs generate you coins. So you can either use coins to open the packs or FIFA points. Now, FIFA points is obviously the better thing, even though they cost real money. You're not wasting your in-game currency, because your in-game currency is so vital, because the more currency you've got in your Ultimate Team, the better your Ultimate Team is going to be. So having FIFA points topping up with actual money gives you more coins and gives you, you know, chance to build a better Ultimate Team. But it is completely down to the luck of the draw. You know, you can spend like £1.79 which I think is 100 FIFA points, because you can get a gold pack for 100 FIFA points. That's normally where you're going to get the better players. Like, you can open bronze and silver packs, but you don't really get anything good. So you can spend £1.79 and get, you know, an icon. You know, you get icon Thierry Henry. Or you could spend, you know, £5,000 and not get one icon or one walkout. It is completely down to luck. You know, pack weight and how pack luck works, I have no idea how it works. I don't know how EA, okay, this pack you're not going to get anything good, and then this pack you actually are going to get something good. I don't know how EA structure it. I don't know how pack weight and pack luck works. But in my case, I mean, last year I did a Premier League Team of the Season pack opening where I didn't get a single blue. My latest Team of the Year pack opening, I packed myself an icon. And I spent more money in the Premier League Team of the Season one than I did for Team of the Year, and got a better play. It's completely down to luck, so it's gambling. You know, it's really hard to stop unless you kind of completely run out of money. But if money's irrelevant, then you could easily spend and waste up to like 5,000, 10,000 on packs, because it draws you in. Once you start opening packs, it's so difficult to stop. Trading is sort of, you know, our way of being like the Jordan Belfort Wolf of Wall Street, trying to, you know, make money, you know, sell players for, you know, or buy players at a ridiculously cheap rate and then sell them off for a profit. And if we can keep repeating that, we will make coins. Obviously, trading is a lot more difficult than opening packs, but there's just so much to do. You know, now you've got squad battles, which is kind of an offline version of Foot Champions, where you can make a really respectful and decent reward, and just by playing against the computer. Foot Champions, which is the most competitive and tough way to play FIFA, where you can earn ridiculous rewards of playing EA's, you know, toughest game mode. The draft, which you have 5 options for players, you have to build the best team and win 4 games in a row. You know, you've got so many options to play. You play against friends. You can do online seasons, single player seasons. It's crawling with opportunity and, you know, fun, incidentally. And you might be thinking that I praise Ultimate Team so much for the content and the variety and how it runs. And yes, I do. I fully 100% say that it's a fantastic game mode. The problem, and the biggest problem, is that no matter how good, you know, the game is, there are problems. And just like every game that is out there, there's always some kind of problem. And, you know, when you've got a huge audience and a huge community, you can't please everybody. There's going to be a small, you know, fraction and percentage of people that are going to be unhappy with what you're doing in the game. But FIFA is sort of different, because the problems are so startling that it does ruin the game. But in another sense, it doesn't, because we still play it. Now, from what I remember, FIFA 11, 12 and 13 were fun games to play. And, like, the only kind of bad thing that I remember from the early games was kind of the sweaty goals, which are always in football. Like, what you have to bear in mind is that EA is a representation and simulator of the real game. So, you know, sweaty goals, you know, passing it across goal, you know, when you're in a position when you're 3-4-0 up and then you lose that lead. It happens in real life football. You see it at times where teams get the lead and then they give it away and the game switches and changes to the point where, you know, you lose out. And that is part of the game. It's part of football, and that is, you know, you might even say you probably want to give props to EA because they do something like that. And I don't believe in scripting, or kind of, you know, you go into a game and that is a game that you are going to lose. But I do believe that momentum plays a huge part in FIFA, and back in the early days, there was only really kind of bad things about FIFA. You know, there was momentum changes and there was, you know, the sweaty goals and the kickoff goals. But from kind of FIFA 14 and onwards, like, FIFA's always had problems with gameplay issues, kickoff goals, and just, you know, issues itself that kind of distract and impact on, you know, having fun in the game, incidentally. And that is a real shame. You know, we want to have fun, we want the best for our game, and we're so in love and passionate about a video game, just like we are with our actual football team. When stuff doesn't go to plan, we get annoyed, we get angry, you know, we're upset, we're emotional, and FIFA is kind of no exception to that. And it seems from FIFA 14 that we seem to have a lot of issues from kind of how the game works, and then, you know, every single year we seem to have more and more issues build up, and now in the current state that FIFA 18 is in, the problems are piling up really on EA, and let me just talk you through a couple of them, because I have personal experiences with them myself, and there have been plenty of issues, plenty of issues, right? So the first one, in FIFA 14, we had this freezing glitch. Now I remember, like, FIFA 14 was the first kind of real Ultimate Team that I really invested a lot of time and money in. Kind of in FIFA 12, FIFA 13, I built a very sweaty team. I think I bought a couple of packs here and there. And back then you could only really play online seasons, was the kind of, and single matches. Those were the two kind of online modes that you could really challenge against other people. This was before the days of the FUT draft and FUT champions, and I think even before kind of the online tournaments came, you literally could only play seasons, and you only had 5 divisions. Like now, pardon me, before then you had team really makes me gassy. I really do apologise, guys. You know, when you drink a cup of tea in a really long amount of time and then you burp, so I do apologise for that. Yeah, so, you know, back then you could only really play online single matches, and what would happen is you'd go into a game, right, and I'd be, say, like 2-3-0 up against an opponent, absolutely loving life, you know, singing, dancing, you know, I'm loving life, this is great, I'm actually winning, it's awesome, and then it would freeze, and, like, I'd have to restart my Xbox, and it happened, like, every single game. And what was worse is that game would count as a loss, and you'd just be sitting there like, I'm winning this game, like, what are you doing, EA? And they never ever fixed it. I used to have, I'd say if I played 5 games, 3 of those out of those 5 games would freeze, so it would impact on my record, it would impact on my season, and it just meant that I think after a while I just stopped playing FIFA 14 Ultimate Team. But yeah, like, it was frustrating, particularly if you were going into a game, investing money into your squad, and then just being, you know, booted out of no fault of your own because of the freezing. Now, whether because it was that EA were going from current gen to next gen, and they didn't really put enough into the current gen because they knew in a few months' time FIFA 14 would be out on Xbox One, I don't know, but even on Xbox One there was a couple of instances of that kind of problem. So you had that FIFA 15, you then had the price ranges. Now, price ranges were just, I mean, to be fair, right, price ranges is kind of the one instance where I understand why EA did that. You know, back then, you could basically make a really, like, you could make 10 million coins in a matter of moments. You know, because trading was such a thing, and you could do trade offers. Rather than, like, just selling coins, you could use trade offers to get coins. And this is at the time where wages and pink slips were a huge thing on YouTube. Every single YouTuber that was FIFA YouTuber, kind of during FIFA 12, 13 and 14 were doing, you know, wages and pink slips. Because basically what you could do is that, say you had like Pele in your club, who was, you know, an icon, or he was a legend back in the day, and he was like the most expensive legend you could possibly think of. So you'd have him in your club, and you could literally list up a bronze player, and then, like, someone could go on that and, like, so say you put up a bronze player on the market, someone could go on that and go on to make a trade offer and give you Pele. So you would get Pele for a bronze player. And this is how kind of, you know, the pink slips and the wages happened instantly. It's how you got, you know, ridiculous amounts of money. The major problem for it was coin sellers, and coin sellers has always been a thing of FIFA. You know, it's always happened, and it always, I mean, EA are getting rid of it slowly but surely, but price ranges was basically because of the coin sellers. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear that I've never in the history of FIFA Ultimate Team ever used coin sellers in my life. Firstly, I don't trust them, and because they've got access to your account. I mean, back in the day you could do these trade offers, but you still have to wait for confirmation of that, and you're putting in real money to, you know, just a website that can give you coins. You know, it's not through EA, it's not 100% safe and accurate and reliable, even though a lot of people did it and actually got the coins that they paid for. But I never ever trusted it, I never wanted to do it, and like now, if you do it, you get banned. EA banned you, they were putting out lifetime bans on people. So I don't think coin sellers are just, you know, it's a big no-no, and also it does ruin the game. It takes the fun out of the game. It can have serious repercussions on the transfer market, and, you know, it's like with anything in life. You have people who are responsible and, you know, play the game properly and, you know, want to actually earn those coins in a proper way, or actually put on their own money and have the chance to pack an insane player. But then you get people that ruin the experience, and we wouldn't have price ranges if we didn't have coin sellers. But then on the flip side, YouTubers had to use coin sellers in order to make more money. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, really. You know, and I think if I was doing FIFA and like I was a FIFA YouTuber back in the day where coin sellers were prominent, I don't actually think I would do coin sellers myself, because I wouldn't want to do something where my audience have the potential to be banned. I wouldn't want to do that, and I wouldn't want to put that to my audience. I never wanted to tell my audience something that would get them into trouble. And coin sellers is a big no-no. But price ranges came in where you could only stop a player for, you know, a minimum price and a maximum price that EA had put under, and they removed the trade offers. So you couldn't do pink slips or wages anymore. And also, basically, coin sellers were dead. Now, coin sellers cottoned on to this idea, and what coin sellers did is that they decided to do fake accounts, which you wouldn't actually get banned for fake accounts, because what it would literally be, it would be an account full of like loads of coins. Like you basically have a blank account that had like 12,000 FIFA points, 2 million coins, and they've actually got the coins from, you know, either opening packs. So like the company, the website, say like MMOGA would buy loads of FIFA points or trade, or I think some people actually automate and hack to get 2 million coins. So actually you might be banned, but because you're paying for the login and password, incidentally, it's much more trickier to get banned by EA, because it's not like, say, if I suddenly went from, like, I don't know, at the minute I've got like 90,000 coins on my FIFA account, and I've got probably about 500-600 KT, but if I went to like 2.2 million in a day, I'd get banned, because EA would see that and be like, oh, here we go again, he's doing something fishy, and, you know, coin sellers cotton onto that idea. So they're still around, but not in the way that they were before. So that was kind of a decline. Many people really hate price ranges, and I sort of was in the minority. I don't actually think price ranges is a bad thing, incidentally. I think it keeps the game running. I think it keeps the if you like, the market and the trading, if you like, you know, as solid as it can be. Although it kind of did kill trading a lot, because like back in the day, you used to be able to buy a player for 1k and maybe sell him for up to 500, 600,000 coins. You know, and if you were clever and smart with your trading, you would make millions and millions of coins. So, kind of the only thing I don't like about price range is it killed trading, but they had to do it to eliminate, like, get rid of coin sellers, and also, you know, it had to be done, really, and I don't really see that was too bad. FIFA 16 though was a very, very weird FIFA, because there was no content on FIFA 16 whatsoever, apart from like the draft and Team of the Year and Team of the Season, which were free fun times. I remember, I mean, again, like FIFA 16, I wasn't a YouTuber, but I remember spending a lot of money on Team of the Year. Didn't get a Team of the Year, Team of the Season. I actually got a Team of the Season, and I did play a lot of draft, and it was actually probably the only year that I was actually quite decent at draft. I'm absolutely horrible and awful at draft now, but apart from that, it was so similar to FIFA 15. It was saying the gameplay was awful, it was laggy, it was slow, it just, like, the more I think about it, the more I realise that FIFA 16 was a pretty awful FIFA, apart from the promotions and the draft. And then we moved on to FIFA 17. Now, FIFA 17 is a very, very interesting game. A very, very interesting game indeed, because FIFA 17, I think EA knew that, like, between FIFA 14 and 16, that the community was growing, it was expanding, was going bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think people thought that it was not going to do well, and I think they were worried, and EA thought that they were going to lose the audience that they've built up over the last kind of 3-4 years, because it was stale, it was static. There wasn't really, apart from the draft, which was a very, very welcome addition, but apart from that, there wasn't really anything that made you go, wow, I really need to get the next FIFA. And I think if they hadn't made the change they made to FIFA 17 from FIFA 16, we'd be in a position where PES again were going to take over. And again, like on the other side, you know, Kamari are adding in the club, which is their version of Ultimate Team. They've got Champions League rights, they've got much better graphics and gameplay than FIFA. And I think EA thought that it was going to be like deja vu, that they were going to be overtaken once again. So I think they knew that they had to make a huge change in FIFA 17. And FIFA 17 actually, like, was a very, very good game. You know, squad building challenges, absolutely fantastic idea. They stole it from YouTubers who came up with that idea themselves. But that's only taken inspiration, you know. It's not really direct copying. It's just taking inspiration from lots of different parts and then kind of, you know, using those parts to create a new game mode. So, you know, and I'm not a big fan of squad building challenges, but they are very, very popular, and they do make you a very, very decent amount of profit. So that is a very, very good idea. Foot Champions, which I do play, and we'll talk about Foot Champions in a much more like detail in a minute, but like, you know, Foot Champions was, you know, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You know, it makes you a lot of coins, no matter how stressful and demanding it is. It is a very, very good game mode, and when you're winning it, it's the best game mode ever. And obviously this year, squad battles, I don't think EA realised how big and how great squad battles were going to be and how it was going to take off. I don't think they ever thought it was going to do as well as it has done. And I think that they now see it as it's not as stressful as Foot Champions, and you can make a decent amount of money. Like for me, like I can now play it on Legendary. I only have to play probably 8-10 games a week and obtain Gold 2, Gold 1, which pays out decent rewards. So it's a very, very good idea. I mean, it is pretty boring, but it still makes you profit. So that with Foot Champions and the draft, you know, FIFA definitely have made steps and tried to, you know, implement steps and places in order to get into a position where they can be bigger and better than ever. And obviously, you know, FIFA every year, you know, and people that work at EA want the best for their game. You know, they're passionate about the game, they love the game, and they just want what is best for the community. They want to give the community fun and, you know, make them enjoy and like worship what they're doing. And, you know, you can see that, but the problem is that EA need to find the balance and they need to find the line. You know, going to the going to Frost from Ignite, you know, the graphics were sharper, crisper, better, and that was a good start. Implementing these new features were great, but still EA have got to toe the line. And what I want to talk about next is kind of Foot Champions, because FIFA 14 freezing, that was resolved. That doesn't happen anymore. FIFA 15 price ranges, I think everyone now has got to the point where they accept price ranges. We don't play FIFA 16 anymore, so that's fine. Now though, we're in a position where we can talk about the current like state and problems that are, you know, happening in FIFA right now. Right, you know, I've given you past problems, and those problems have been resolved because we're simply not playing those games anymore, or the problems that have come into the new FIFA are slowly getting resolved, you know, ever so slightly and slowly. But like now, we're in a position where FIFA is. It's a really, really weird thing, right? And it is really, really strange, because what you have is you have a game that everybody wants to play. You know, every single September, I cannot wait to get the brand new FIFA. You know, the last kind of 3 years, I've been glued to getting the new FIFA. You know, before I was a YouTuber, now that I am a YouTuber, you know, just having FIFA on day one is the great. And what happens is that you get FIFA, and you're like, oh my god, I've got FIFA, time to play it, and you spend kind of the first weekend spending hours and hours and hours playing FIFA, and everything is great. You know, you're all happy, it's lovely, and you know, enjoying FIFA. And like this year when FIFA 18 came out, I think I spent about 36 hours over the first kind of 3 days literally just playing FIFA. Obviously I was doing my pack opening and editing and doing FIFA 18 videos in between, but when I wasn't doing that, I was playing FIFA. And what happens is that the new FIFA comes out, you spend hours and hours and hours on it, and then it sort of just dies down and gets kind of boring and repetitive, and you get to the point where you're a little bit bored and you kind of get fed up of it. Then you get kind of the Black Friday and Cyber Monday promos, and oh great, everything's great with the world, FIFA's really good, oh my god, you know, it's all great, I'm absolutely loving FIFA now. And then it kind of dies down. Christmas, you know, you get the football stuff, and yeah, it's alright, but then it dies down again. Then you get Team of the Year, the most kind of anti-social week of the year, where there's loads of promos and FIFA's exciting, it's vigorous, everything's going all happy again, and everybody just loves the idea that, you know, you could pack loads of players, and, you know, FIFA videos on YouTube take off during Team of the Year, it's a great time. Then we sort of die down again, even though, yeah, we have winter upgrades, and yeah, we kind of get a couple of promos here and there, but really kind of dies down and gets a little bit boring. We might move on to other games, we might play a couple of games of FIFA here and there. And then we have Team of the Season, which is kind of another time where FIFA's alive and kicking, incidentally. You know, FIFA becomes fun again. It kind of has these moments where it gets fun, and then it dies, and then it gets fun, and then it dies, and then it gets fun, and then it dies. And then after Team of the Season, FIFA just dies, and you get to the point where before the new FIFA comes out, you're not playing FIFA anymore. So like, you get to about August, once Team of the Season is wrapped up. And it might be different this year, because I don't know if EA are going to be doing a World Cup mode, but You know, last year they didn't do a World Cup mode. I think I stopped playing FIFA 17 in around kind of June, July, and then the next time I played FIFA was the FIFA 18 demo in September. So it kind of goes through a lifespan where it dies and then goes up again, then dies, then goes up again, then dies, then goes back up again, you know. And it had kind of that, and it keeps doing that throughout the entire lifespan. But right now, the current problems is there's too much. There's too, and I know I've just said that there's plenty of stuff to play and it's fun and you've got loads of stuff to do, and I am contradicting myself here, but there is just way too much. I mean, you play 45, if you want to get the very best rewards, right, there are 45 games of squad battles each week, and then there are 40 games of FUT Champions over the weekend. That is a ridiculous, that is ludicrous, that's absolutely ludicrous to have to play that many games. And I know what you're all going to say, don't play it, but the problem is that to get the best rewards, you've got to put time into the game. But, you know, squad battles is one thing, because, like, you can just play, like, if you're a good FIFA player, you can play, like, 2 games of Legendary each day, play a couple of games at the weekend, and you're guaranteed to at least get to Gold 2 or better. And once you get kind of Gold 2, Gold 1, Elite 3, 2, 1, you get decent rewards, and you get a decent amount of coins. So that's fine. But FUT Champions is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I know, it. On one hand, I absolutely love it, but on the other hand, it's awful. And there's way too many games to play. I mean, to play 40 games over the weekend is absolutely crazy. I mean, I've done it, and every time I'm in the weekend league, I do play all my 40 games. But it's just, it takes up your whole weekend, and it's not healthy. It really is not healthy to play that amount of games. You know, for me, I'm in a position where I can get anywhere between kind of 15 to 20 wins. But I only get that if I play all 40 of my games. You know, I'm not in a position where I can get 18 wins like after 20 games. I'm not good enough to do that yet. I'm alright, I'm fairly decent. On my day, I'm actually quite a good FIFA player, but I'm way too inconsistent, and I do play, you know, too much. I don't play to the standard that I know I can. So I'm in a position where I have to literally play 40 games to kind of get what I believe I can get, and the most wins I can probably get. I mean, last year my most wins I got was 20 wins. This year my highest wins is 17. So to get kind of 17, 18 wins is, I have to play literally all 40 games and really play to a constant high concentration in order to do that. Now luckily what EA have done is they've implemented that you only now need 11 wins to auto-qualify. And that's the other reason. You have to spend during the week to qualify, and I find the tournament harder than actual playing FUT Champions. And then once you're in FUT Champions, you've got to play 40 games over the weekend, so your whole week, plus squad battles, your whole week is basically just you playing FIFA. And to me, I mean, I don't have that luxury anyway. I'm a content creator, I'm a YouTuber. I literally, I mean, I can do it. And normally what I do is I play like my squad battle games like late in the evening after I've worked on my YouTube channel. And FUT Champion, I mean, this week I'm playing FUT Champions, so I didn't do a video. I literally just played FUT Champions. Starting from next week, when you only have to get 11 wins, I'll be able to not really play a lot and just breeze through the games and be able to auto-qualify, because I'm literally just doing it to save packs Team of the Season, just like I did for Team of the Year. So that is kind of the reason why I'm going to be continuing playing for Champions. And also, I get more coins, you know, putting into the club, and I deposit more coins, and, you know, all in all, in the long run, it actually will keep my Ultimate Team alive and kicking. But to play 40 games is just, it's so much, and it's because you're playing at the highest level. You know, FUT Champions is the highest level that you can play in FIFA, and it's tough. You know, you play and you come up against the very best FIFA players, and to be in FUT Champions in itself, you have to be a decent player, and it's horrible. I mean, you heard of these professionals, and these people can get like 38, 39, 40, which is absolutely crazy, and some of them have had to quit due to their mental health. Like, it's not healthy, and it's not. It's not positive for you to play and spend that many hours playing FIFA. I don't think anyway. And, you know, people say just don't play it. But if you're in FUT Champions, if you've spent and, you know, worked hard to qualify, and you've got a good team, then, and you've got it sitting there, of course you're going to play. If you love FIFA, of course you're going to play. You know, I've said many times I'm not playing any more weekend league games. And then now, like, I come back, I'm addicted to it. Once I'm in it, I want to play it, and I want to finish all my games, play it to the best of my ability if I can. You know, and because of that, I can't escape it. You know, it's just like, you know, if you watch a football team, like, say if Arsenal lost every single game between now and the end of the season, it would be horrible, and it would make my life a living hell, but I wouldn't be able to get away from it because I can't escape them. I can't get away from them. And it's the same with FUT Champions. I can't get away with, you know, playing those amount of games. But it's not just the amount, like there's too many games to play. The gameplay in Foot Champions is at times appalling, right? And it goes with everything. How on one game you can pass the ball to death and play to the standard that you know you are in one game, and then the exact same game later your team feels shoddy, your team feels awful, they can't string a pass together, they can't shoot, and then you get hit on the counter. There's so many games in Foot Champions where you absolutely dominate and batter your opponent, and then they get one chance and score. Now I know also what you're saying, that is an accurate representation of football. You see games where you see the top boys going up against the lesser teams, and the top teams absolutely batter them and just put their head to the slaughter, and they still lose because they can't break them down. And yeah, I would agree with that. But the momentum switch in Foot Champions, how on one hand you can play one game that feels great, and then on another game you can play horrible. The matchmaking system in Foot Champions, I mean, like last night, I was playing Foot Champions last night, and I'll give you an example, right? I am predicted Silver 1 at this stage, and nobody knows really how the matchmaking of EA works. Nobody really can understand of how it goes, and you know how you actually rank up against people. People think it's completely random. People think you're matched up against someone of your similar skill. And in no ideal world, right, you would think that you would be in a situation where you would rank up against someone of the same rank as you, and it's all about trying to see who is the better player. You know, I don't. It's nowhere near fair. If I am in like Silver 1 and I come up against a top 100 player, that is not fair. That is not a proper good ranking system. You look at all of the kind of the qualification. If EA and FIFA are going to treat Foot Champions as a proper esport competition, then they've got to probably, and they do that. I mean, they do it as the Interactive World Cup. It is a proper esports game, and if they're going to make FIFA competitive, there's got to be a strategic qualification system, because it simply isn't fair to have someone who's got like 15 wins coming up against someone who's got 35 wins. It's got to be at the similar rank, because you know, even though you're playing against the best of the best, you have to play with people that are at the same position of you, surely. Because I mean, when you look at all of the the game modes that have competitive FIFA, they go through a ranking system, and you only play like in like Legend of Zelda, you play against other people in your rank, and then you know, the better you do, if you can beat all the people in your rank, you go up to the next rank, and then the next rank. I don't know if that is the case in Foot Champions, but you know, it's. I mean, yesterday, as I said, I came up against a full icon team, right? A full icon team with like Team of the Year players on the bench, and that's just not fair. Especially like, I've been in a position where I need one more win, right? I've got 17 wins, and I need one more win to guarantee gold. And you'd think I'd come up against a team that is as good as mine, if not a tad better. No, I come up most of the time against either a full informed team, icon team, Team of the Years, etc. A team that I'm not going to beat, and I don't beat them, you know, because you know, people say that it's not about the team that you have, it's about player skill. But if you've got a basic gold Premier League team and you go up against a full icon team, it doesn't matter if that person who's got the icon team is one of the worst players ever. You know, you don't have to be good to do well with icons. You know, you just don't, because they're so overpowered that they can just run through your whole team and still kind of overtake. I mean, like defending, like the second man press, you know, the button delay, just there's so many things that can take a weekend league, which is already stressful enough playing, you know, a sheer amount of games in such a short amount of time, that if you have any gameplay problems or glitches, it just sends you around the bend, and it's not fun, but you still have to play because you can't escape it. And you know, Foot Champions got to be like, they've got to get rid of it, and they've got to, you know, not get rid of it, but they've got to like develop a brand new system for it. You know, I think it should be like squad battles, where you have to win a certain amount of games in a rank, where you get an unlimited amount of games. But like squad battles, the more, like, you get 4 a day, but over the weekend, like, say for example, like gold 1 is, I don't know, 10,000 points. Then for every win that you get, it depends on how many goals you get. So say you get like 500 points for winning, and then for the amount of goals you score is 100. So say if you beat someone like 6-0 on Foot Champs, you get 1,200. If you do that 10 times, you get into gold 1. And then you kind of have 3 days, and you could decide how many games you want to play. And I think also you should keep the qualification, because I don't think to play in Foot Champions, I feel like you should still have to qualify, because obviously you don't just want everybody playing. You know, you want to keep it fair, you want to keep it competitive. It should only be for players that are good enough to actually qualify for Foot Champions. So you keep the qualification, but then during the weekend you kind of have 3 days or even 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, make it over a 4-day period, and then have a ranking system where you have to kind of reach a certain threshold to obtain that rank, and then you get the rewards kind of on Thursday, do it, and then like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you have to try and qualify, and you get an unlimited amount of attempts to qualify. Just re-strategize it and give us as the gamers, give us the chance and option to play as many games as we want to play. You know, we have to do what EA are telling us, incidentally, and that shouldn't be how it runs. You know, we have to follow the rules that are set by the game developers, but it's our game. You know, it's what we make it. We should be able to do what we want and have the freedom to do what we want. You know, to get the best rewards, you've got to play 40 games of FIFA, unless you're really, really good and can get kind of 18, 20 wins without actually having to play all 40. But for someone like me that, you know, is decent but not, you know, amazing at FIFA, I have to play all 40 games to have any sort of chance of getting in the rank that I want. So I'm being tailored by EA and being told by EA exactly what I have to do, and I don't think that is the right way to do it. You know, I think squad battles, I like squad battles. You don't have to play 45 games, and you know, I agree that I like that. I like that with squad battles, that you don't have to play all of the games, you know, to have, I mean, obviously if you do, you have a better chance of getting better packs, but again, because it's all down to pat luck, getting anywhere between gold 2 and above. I mean, a tip for you guys who play FIFA, right? If you can beat Legendary easily, play 2 games a day, because 2 games takes about 40 minutes, if that, at the end of the day. Play 2 games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. You'll probably get gold 2, gold 1, maybe even Elite 3. And obviously with the feature squad as well. And that's it. And you know, I like that. I like that idea a lot. But what I will say is with Foot Champions, there's got to be a better system, and they've got to reshape it, because, you know, 2 years now you've had people who have like collapsed playing it, who have suffered mental health issues playing it. A game should never ever get you to that point. It should never ever get you to that point. And just playing 40 games is just unhealthy. You know, there are arguments in family households of gamers who simply have to play all 40 games because they've got to go out. You know, if you're playing Foot Champions, you ain't going out at the weekend. Really, incidentally. I mean, for me, I have to factor, I just have to stay up really, really late doing videos if I'm doing videos and playing Foot Champions. Then what I do is I get my video out Friday and then do another video Monday, so I can have like 2 days just playing Foot Champions if I'm actually in it. You know, so it's one of those things where you can't go out, you can't have a social life at weekends if you're taking Foot Champions seriously. If you have the ranking system where you kind of can choose how many you want, then it's your choice, incidentally. You know, EA are not telling you how many games you have to play. And I just like that idea a lot. You know, if it's going to be a proper esports game, then it's got to perform like a proper esports game. You know, how on earth can you have a proper competitive esports game where people can win real money when you've got the kickoff goal? I mean, we saw yesterday with #Harry, the kickoff goals. I know EA are patching the kickoff goal very, very soon, but you know, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, how you can play a competitive game and having a kickoff goal which is out of your bloody control, you can't control, you can't do anything about that, then it's just, it's ludicrous. It's mind-blowing, and EA have got to shape up now. They've had 2 years of testing out Foot Champions, and I think they've had enough feedback now that they've got to change and reshape it. Like, they've got to do something about it, and hopefully they can actually do that, because I think without that, they're going to be in a position where just people will just stop playing Foot Champions altogether. And you know, at the core, it is a really, really good game mode, and it rewards players with some really, really decent rewards. We never ever, you know, we spent 3, 4, 5 years asking for bigger rewards, and when we got them, it's great, but it's too much. It seems like EA listen to us and they do what we want, and they get to a point where they're pleasing us, but then they take it to the next step and they go overboard and they do it too much. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, what are you doing, EA? You know, and I have to give props to EA, like as I said right at the start, you know, they are talking to us more as a community. You know, when they bring out updates for the last 2 years to tell us what they've addressed and how they've used the feedback of, you know, us as the community to fix those problems, and that is a really, really good thing. But you know, it's crazy how, you know, with FIFA 18, there's been an Ultimate Team now for, I mean, it started FIFA now, it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is the 9th year of Ultimate Team, and we're still having basic problems. The basic fundamental problems are still not being fixed, and you're just sitting there thinking, like, what are you doing? And us as a community, we want to have the best. We just want what's best for FIFA. We want to enjoy it more, and EA know these problems, and they know that they can fix them. And it'd just be really good if they can fix those problems, and if we can have a FIFA which is just doesn't really have any problems whatsoever. I mean, obviously there's going to be certain problems that are patched here and there. Obviously, when you create a game like that, you know that always is going to happen. But they need to work better on solving the fundamental problems, not working on the complex problems that are only, you know, a minority of people actually care about. That they need to fix the majority problems first before working on the minority problems. However, there has been kind of talk about this. It's not just one lone voice. It's just not me sitting here moaning about FIFA. In October, obviously, we had the Fix FIFA scandal, which was a online petition on Twitter which tried to get people to sign a petition for EA to fix the problems that I've literally just spoken about in the game. You know, the kick-off goals, the gameplay issues, the momentum switches, the pack weight, you know, foot champions change, you know, how you get rewarded. Like, you know, another thing, online seasons. Completely irrelevant. You get 15,000 coins for winning Division 1. Like, why would you play online seasons when you've got squad battles and foot champions that give you better rewards, and it is, like, you can play less of FIFA to get better rewards? And why would you play seasons? Like, why would you do that? What is the point of that? They need to make online season rewards better. You know, it's just, like, the Fix FIFA saga was a really, really good idea because it meant that a lot of people, a lot of big voices in the FIFA community could come together and show at EA that this is what we want changing. But I knew the Fix FIFA saga was not going to work. It just wasn't going to work whatsoever. You know, and there's a reason for that, and it is because EA, whether you like it or not, are a business corporation, right? The Fix FIFA saga was great because it was hardcore FIFA fans giving their opinion, expressing their opinion and options, and seeing if they could fix the problems that were staring EA so blatantly in the face. And the reason is, they aren't going to change it. They aren't going to change it. And the Fix FIFA saga is not going to work because there's only one way that EA are going to fix all the problems that us in the FIFA community are shouting about, you know, time and time and time again. And the simple fact of the matter is to not play it. Don't buy FIFA 18, or like, if we wanted to really fix the problems, right, don't buy FIFA 19, don't buy FIFA points, don't invest any time into the game. Those are the only way you're going to see EA make drastic changes to the game. And that is because it's a business, right? EA are a business, right? I mean, look, there are some people at EA, and you see them on Twitter, that absolutely want what's best for the game, that love the game, they love football, they love FIFA, and all they want to see is just the best FIFA and football game that they can make. That's what they want, and that's what they want to do. The problem with that is that they are in a position where they've got the head of corporations, the bosses, the people right at the top of the food chain of FIFA, saying that all they want is how much money can you make me. EA want to make money. They want to be in profit. And, you know, in a business sense, you know, you've got to think about it in a business that you have to make money. You know, because a business only thrives when you've got money coming into it. You know, a hypothetical, right, if this YouTube channel, right, so I had like 1 million, 2 million subscribers and like loads of views, and I'm using YouTube as a business, and although I'm saying I'd never ever do this, but there are people who are YouTubers, and I've said this before, that treat their channel like a business. So they only do videos. They might not do videos that they want to make and videos that they don't enjoy doing, but because it's the meta, because it, in terms of the analytics of YouTube, and because it brings in the biggest audience and brings in the biggest revenue and makes, at the end of the month, YouTubers look at their paycheck and go, yeah, boy. You know, that is because people want to treat it as a business, want to make money. EA are no different. You know, the heads and the bosses at EA, the people right at the top, they're going to be, all they care about is money. You know, they're going to look at their kind of analytics at the end of the month, looking at how many people have bought FIFA, how many people have bought FIFA points and invested money into the game, and they're going to look at it and go, yeah, we're making more money than ever. Well done, boys. Let's give a round of applause, team. Yeah, you get a new Ferrari, you get a new Ferrari, you get a new Ferrari. You know, they don't care about the state of the game. As long as people are investing time and money into their game by buying FIFA points and actually buying the game, why are they going to care? I mean, if someone at EA goes upstairs to the board and goes, you know, excuse me, sir, and they can say, what is it? Well, I was thinking that we should, put more money and resources into our servers, because lots of people in the fan base say that they lose, connection to the EA servers. That they're in a position where they're getting booted out of games unfairly, and it's not fair, particularly when they're playing a really competitive version of Foot Champs. And they say, all right, how much is this going to cost? And they say, I don't know, say hypothetically $250,000, and they go, no, it's too much. It's too much. I mean, if they don't like it, they don't have to play it. As long as they're putting money into our wallets and getting you a new Ferrari, it's fine. Get out of my office right now. Go, just go. And the EA, person that has come up to give them an idea of just going like, because it is a business. It is a business right now. If you stop playing FIFA and you stop putting FIFA points on and you stop investing time into it, then at the end of the month when they look at the analytics and see that they've had a sudden mass drop in terms of sales and money that have been made, they're going to look at it and go, oh my Jesus, God, what on earth is going on? Right, team meeting, boys, team meeting, right, what has gone wrong? Right, we need to work out what has happened to FIFA. I want to get so many people playing FIFA that they can use their footballs, and I want to shove my footballs so far down their throat that they're going to be out feathers going for a whole week. They're going to be sitting there thinking, right, we need a major rethink, reshuffle. What is going on, boys? Come on, speak to me. That will mean that we'll see major changes, and we're going to see lots of drastic changes to the FIFA community. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just, it's a business mind, and you have to think about it as a business. There are people, as I said, there are people at EA that want what's best for the game, but the head bosses, the people right at the top, in the corporation, all they want is how much money can you make me at the end of the month. And I put in like £50 to £60 last week on my Team of the Year pack opening. I bought FIFA for 60 quid, and I've put on loads of FIFA points this year. Why on earth would, and I'll say this, why would I completely lost my train of thought then, stupid car out there. I've put in loads of money in terms of points throughout the year and actually bought the game. So I can whinge and moan all the want. The only way I could stop and actually make a difference, and even then I wouldn't make a difference, if I stopped playing FIFA and stopped actually, putting any time and money into it. I can't do that. I love FIFA. It's a love-hate relationship. So I'm in a position where I'm sitting there on one hand I'm, bitching, whinging, moaning and whining about the state of the game, but on the other hand, I'm putting in money and time. I'm giving EA exactly what they want, when they want and how they want. So why are they going to change anything? Why are they going to invest, millions of pounds into their servers, into changes? I mean, they are doing patches here and there, but these patches are the cheapest patches probably they can get away with. Why are they going to invest loads of money into it when they've got loads of money coming in every single month? I mean, if you're sitting there as a business, right, and you've got kind of millions of dollars coming in at the end of each month, but you've got a handful of people that are not happy with your game, what are you going to go with? Stick with the money and stick with making money, or actually use that money to better the game? You're going to keep the money. Obviously, it's a business sense, and EA works as a business, and that is not going to change. Until the day that we all stop playing the game, which is not going to happen, you're going to get these problems time and time again. And yes, EA are in a better position than they were a couple of years ago, where they're actually giving us feedback and actually, listening to us and actually, fixing the problems. But, there's just so many problems. Another story, right, I tell you, right, which is just EA written all over, okay? I was playing the Daily Knockout Tournament. This is before I started my Foot Champions mini-series. And I got to the final of the Daily Knockout Tournament, and I was winning 1-0 in the 89th minute. Okay, so I was winning in the 89th minute, and I lost connection to EA servers, right? And I was upset, I was angry, because I thought I'm going to get qualified. It was the first time I qualified and was close to qualifying in that year. And what happened is that I didn't say anything. I thought to myself, okay, I'll just try again tomorrow. Because it was Wednesday, I had one more day, and I think I had 7 attempts still left. So I was angry, but I wasn't gutted. And also I think that was the weekend where I had to go out and do other stuff and recording. So if I didn't play Foot Champions at the weekend, then it wasn't really the end of the world. But, I got booted out in the final. I then, on that Thursday, had 7 attempts. I went down to my last attempt. I kept going out in kind of the quarterfinal, semi-final. And I'd won the quarterfinal 6-0 on my very, very last attempt. Obviously, I had a semi-final game to play later. I had to go and do a couple of errands. So I backed out of Ultimate Team. I went to watch Arsenal's Europa League game, which was against, I think it was Batty Borisov. We played in the Europa League. So I went downstairs, watched that, came back up, went into it. And I couldn't join the daily knockout tournament. There was a message that came up that said, you've used up all of your attempts to qualify. You cannot enter this tournament again. And I was on my last attempt. I was in the semi-final. And at that point, I was confident that I was going to go for it. I was in really, really good form. I was playing good FIFA. And I then messaged EA. I went on to EA's live chat. I gave them my situation. And there's this link where you can go and automatically qualify for the weekend league. Now, the funny thing about this was, right, is that it says that you only can request weekend league access if you were in the final of the daily knockout tournament and got disconnected. I was in the semi-final, and I didn't want to like get banned or get punished because it says that you know, you could face, you know, a consequence for lying to EA instead if you request access but you don't actually need access. You know, so I was in a situation where I said to the EA, the spokesperson on the EA live chat, that I was only in the semi-final. Are you sure that this link worked? And they said, yes, you can use it fine. And I was granted access. I got into the weekend league, and I felt a little bit like, you know, a little bit of injustice because I wasn't in the final, I wasn't winning. But obviously, I thought I was winning yesterday, so maybe it's karma for actually, you know, getting to the stage where I'm in the final of the DKT and I was winning, and now I'm playing it. Flash forward 2 weeks later, that was when I got like silver 1, and then I got, I think, 17 wins both times. So I missed out on gold, and I was like, I had to re-qualify again. And I was then in the final again of the daily knockout tournament. I was losing 1-0, and I wasn't losing 1-0. I was losing 1-0. I equalised to make it 1-1. I then got ahead and was 2-1 up in the 87th minute. And once again, I got disconnected. So I was given the link by the EA spokesperson, so I thought, instead of going up to the live chat, why don't I just request access again? Because this time, I actually deserve access to the weekend league. You know, I've actually been knocked out, I've been unfairly knocked out of the final of the daily knockout tournament when I was in a winning position. So I went on and requested access, and I wasn't given the access. So I was in the semi-final. I was booted out because of the glitch where if you already have 0 attempts there, it counts that was already your attempt. So I wasn't playing the semi-final. I could have lost that semi-final. I wasn't guaranteed to be in the weekend league. I then was guaranteed to be in the weekend league because I was winning 2-1 in the 88th minute, pretty much, you know, on the attack and dominating him. He didn't really look like scoring. So I probably, you know, I'm pretty certain I was going to get into FUT Champions. And then I'm, you know, denied access into the weekend league. I then went on to the EA live chat, and she said that you're only allowed to have 1 weekend league access request, like, once. After that, it doesn't matter if you get knocked out of the final again and you are unlawfully, you know, not allowed to, you know, or if you're unlawfully kicked out of the daily knockout tournament when you should have qualified, then it doesn't matter because then you're only allowed 1 attempt at it. I mean, like, listen to yourself, right? Oh, I know, let's create a weekend league access because in the daily knockout tournament, if you get booted out of it and you're in a winning position in the final, and you know you actually deserve to be in the weekend league, and it's not easy to qualify for FUT Champions, then let's give gamers an idea and a place and a chance to qualify if they are, you know, accidentally booted out of the daily knockout tournament when they should be winning. But let's only give each account, no matter how, if you get knocked out in the first round, I bet you, and you've not ever requested weekend league access, I bet you can go on to that again, right? Request access and you'll be qualified. You do it again when you're actually in the final, you don't get weekend league access. So I know, let's actually give weekend league access to people that actually need it when they get booted out of a tournament that frankly they should have been winning. But after the first time, if it happens again, and if you actually requested access first time when you actually didn't need to get access, then you can't get it. I mean, that's stupid. That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, can you listen to yourself? And that is what I'm saying. Whoever at EA has that business mentality is stupid. Absolutely stupid. Like, that's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. You know, and it's not just Ultimate Team. Right? I've spent a lot of time talking about Ultimate Team, but there's so many other like game modes which are just like they need to have serious reinvestment. I mean, Pro Clubs. Now, Pro Clubs set up to be a game mode which we should all be playing a lot. It should be bigger than Ultimate Team. I mean, the idea that you can create your own club and be in a virtual club playing with your mates, and you've got your own virtual pro and you're playing an Ultimate Team and you're trying to go up playing, not in your Ultimate Team, but playing Pro Clubs and going up the ladder and trying to get into a situation where you're trying to get the top prizes and you're competing with your friends, and it's basically a 6-a-side game mode where you can play, you know, as a football club with your mates. I mean, absolutely great game mode. But EA invests no money into it because where is the bulk of the money being made from? It's Ultimate Team. We need to make Ultimate Team bigger and better to keep audiences on it. Why are we going to invest? I mean, why are EA going to invest $500,000 into Pro Clubs when not many people play it? You know, career mode. You know, career mode people do play, and I'd say probably, you know, Pro Clubs, FIFA, Ultimate Team, Career are like the 3 game modes that 80% of players play. You know, and you know, I'm saying that in a respect that Ultimate Team is where most of the players play. Then you've got career, and then you've got Pro Clubs. But think about this, right? You're in a position where you're playing career mode, and like this year they added in like, you know, interactive transfer negotiations, all right? And I thought it was going to be like a journey where your players actually speak, your managers speak, and it's a bit like the journey, but it's not. It really isn't. It's like, you know, it's a good idea incidentally, but they're not talking. You know, they're miming to each other. I mean, it was boring. I don't understand why they added in that, and career mode has been the same for like the last 5-6 years. I mean, career mode's a waste of bloody time. It really, really is. You know, apart from Ultimate Team, the other game modes, because they're not making as much revenue, and as people and players are not, you know, playing it as much and not making EA substantial money, they just keep it on the side. They don't add anything to it. You know, online seasons, kickoff, of course they're not going to add anything to it because people are not playing it. Like the journey last year was a very, very good idea, right? You know, first ever interactive narrative story of FIFA. I've said for many, many years I wish FIFA had kind of like a single player mode where you could live the life of a footballer, and Alex Hunter is a great idea. Very, very good promise, very, very good potential. It's almost like the first purge, has great potential, and it has a great idea to actually, you know, take off and be something good. But like EA set up this fantastic setting, right? They set up this great character, this great world where you can interact, and then it's a repetition game. You're playing the same game over and over again. Like the first half of the journey is brilliant, and then the second half it's just the same thing over and over again. I haven't actually played the journey this year, so I don't know whether they've made it bigger and better than ever. From what I've heard is that it is better than last year, but yet again it's still got that repetition. So the journey isn't really that great either. What EA are basically saying is that we'll add new features into the minority of people that don't like Ultimate Team, but we're still going to put all of our money, time and investment into Ultimate Team because the other ones are not making us a financial affrontation as we want. You know, Ultimate Team is making us the most amount of money. You know, it's putting us in a financially good, profitable position. So that is the place where we're going to, you know, that is the place where we're going to put in the most amount of money. You know, what you have to bear in mind is they only want money, and until the day where they are like at a loss rather than a profit, these changes and the changes that us as gamers want are just not going to happen, and it's just in a position where it's not ever going to change. It's never ever going to get to a place where FIFA is like a 99.9%, you know, great game with a couple of problems here or there. I say it's probably a 50-50. There is as many bad things in FIFA as there are good things. Maybe 60-40 on a good day, incidentally. But the thing is, EA could make FIFA great again. You know, they really could make, you know, FIFA a great place to be. You know, they could listen to the community, and they're already starting to do that. You know, they talk to us a bit more about updating the servers and the patches, and they give us reports on what patches they've actually made. But it's only a start. It's a small fraction. It's a very singular first movement. EA have got to expand. They've got to get bigger and better, and you know, they need to speak to us, communicate us much more, and give us more of an insight into what they're doing. They need to take our comments on board and actually work on areas that we want. There are people out there that would love and would play Pro Clubs way more if they invested more time into it. You know, career mode they would. They need to make their servers better. I mean, 9 years old, we've still got ridiculous servers. These are basic things and recurring problems that are coming up over and over again. Yes, they are slowly and very, very slowly making, you know, the issues in FIFA, like, you know, they are, well, the best word I'm looking for is that they're in a position where they are slowly working on the problems that have been staring them in the face for years, but they're still in a position where they're, again, it's a very, very small minority, and it is in a position where you are, again, it's really, really difficult because, you know, on one hand I'm saying that they are doing that well, but on the other hand they need to do it more. You know, it's trying to get the balance in, incidentally. You know, they need to invest more into Pro Clubs, seasons, and, you know, there's two main aspects I want EA to change, right? Firstly, I don't want them to solve problems with lightning round of packs. The Fixed FIFA saga came out, and like, you'd think that it would put people off the game. You know, everyone was saying the only way Fixed FIFA is going to work is that if everybody stops playing the game, stops investing time and money into the game. Next week, EA released the first set of 125k packs Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and all of the FIFA gamers put money onto it and go back to their old ways. You know, EA are very clever because the way that they try and solve problems is give us more packs. And us as gamers, we're greedy, we're addicts. If there are packs there to open, we've got money to burn, we're going to open them. It's just going to happen, and it's not the right way to go about things. So that's kind of the first thing that I think EA need to invest. Like, actually solve the problems that are staring you in the face. Don't just solve it by giving us, you know, loads of money and promos and, you know, really good packs, because, you know, we're stupid enough, and I count myself in it. I'm not just calling it, but we are stupid enough that we fall for the bait. You know, EA are baiting us with these packs and with these lightning round of packs to try and solve problems and keep us, you know, a piece. And we're falling for it because we spend the money and open the packs. You know, it's like, you know, if you're going to be strong and actually, you know, believe in Fixed FIFA, then you've got to actually stick to your guns and not invest time and money into the game. It's as simple as that. And EA, I really wish that they would be in a position where they would actually, you know, fix these problems first and foremost. You know, rather than just being like, yeah, well, we'll just give you loads of packs and everyone will be dandy. The other thing I want is to reward us for actually, you know, putting in time into the game. Yes, squad battles, foot champions is one way of doing that, but it's a skill, okay? It's a very, very, you know, you've got to be good to actually get very good rewards from squad battles and foot champions. And EA are doing this very, very little. I'm talking about daily objectives and weekly objectives, right? Which are in FIFA 18. Great idea, right? Keep you on the game, but the rewards are awful, right? You buy a player from the transfer market, you get 1,000 coins. Very welcome addition, but in the long run, not going to mean anything. These weekly objectives, right, which are great, which reward players for actually playing, like if you play 38 games, you get a premium, you get like a plaque. But the pack's untradeable. Makes no sense, right? If you're going to do it, actually give good rewards, like give us a tradable 100k pack for playing 50 games during the week. And you'll see people investing time into the game. Reward us, but actually reward us with something. I mean, who wants an untradeable 2 players pack? Maybe the only good thing is it's for squad building challenges. But if you don't do squad building challenges, then you've just got 2 players sitting there and you discard them for nothing. There needs to be good rewards for actually investing time into the game. The day objectives, weekly objectives is a nice idea and it's a good touch by you. But like I said, it's just the start. They need to add good rewards, proper rewards, and actually rewards that I actually want. You know, I don't want a premium bronze gold contract pack. You know, like the Twitch thing, really good idea. You know, rewarding people for investing time in watching a stream of FIFA, but untradeable packs. Like, you know, why? Just, you know, the whole point of why we open packs is to try and make money and make coins. Like, I don't understand why the rewards are shit. They are shit rewards for daily and weekly objectives. Reward us as the gamer for playing the game more and investing more time to it, and actually give us decent rewards for a change. Don't just give us rewards that mean absolutely nothing. Because honestly, like, who wants those like type of rewards? Nobody. There are ways, and I'll wrap up the podcast now, right? There are ways that EA can make FIFA great again, you know, and they are moving in a very, very slow step in the right direction. But there needs to be major overall changes to FIFA, and if it's going to get back to a place where everybody can be happy, and you're never ever going to please all 100% of your demographic, but you surely have got to, I mean, rather 60-40, it should be like 80-20. EA and FIFA have got to get to a stage where, you know, most of the fan base, the majority of people are happy with it, with a small minority who are unhappy. I'd say that the majority of people that play Ultimate Team and actually are passionate about Ultimate Team are not happy with the current state of FIFA. And I don't know if I'm speaking of it as a content creator who uses FIFA as a way of making videos, but I think the average player that just plays FIFA for fun also wants to see change like that. Like, the major changes, right, that EA have got to work on first and foremost is foot champions, rewarding us for playing the game more, and also reinvesting in pro clubs and career. Those are the major changes. And then over time, the gameplay changed in terms of like career mode, or in terms of like the kickoff glitch and the kind of other things that they put in, like gameplay change, momentum change. That will come over time, but the major change is reinstating FUT Champions, giving a whole new system to FUT Champions, putting way more into Pro Club's career mode that actually makes those games fun to play, and also giving us much more better rewards for just your casual average Joe gamer, not just stupid untradeable packs. And hopefully we can revive FIFA, because at this stage, between now and team of the season, it's dead. It will reimagine itself for team of the season, and then we're going to FIFA 19 and it'll be the exact same every day. It is the same song, very similar to the Arsenal crisis. It is the same song, and we're singing from the same hymn sheet every single year, and we need major changes. But while the money's coming in, and while the head is above water, and while EA are making a decent amount of profit in terms of the business state, nothing is ever going to change. And boy, do EA have a dark side ahead of them. And I just want what's best for FIFA. I want it to be the best game it can be, and at the minute it's just it's falling and filtering way from that. So let me know your thoughts down below, okay? I really hope you've enjoyed this podcast. It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts and feelings on the matter of this. I wanted to talk about that and really wanted to get it off my chest for like the last kind of 3 months, so I'm really happy that I've done that. I do apologise that this is kind of a niche kind of market, because it's only people that play FIFA that will really relate to the stuff I've talked about in this podcast. But I promise you the next podcast is going to be a Valentine's Day special, so stay tuned for that, and it's going to be a very kind of podcast that everybody can relate to, and hopefully over the next few podcasts that I'm going to be getting out, they are going to be relatable podcasts that everybody can enjoy. And I really hope you enjoyed the DJ Bagpuss Show. Please make sure to check it out on I said that wrong again. It's been too long. I'm really, really tired. I've been recording all day. Let's try that again, shall we, right? So, please make sure to download the podcast on SoundCloud. Go to my SoundCloud now. The links will be on screen now. And I will try and get the DJ Bagpuss Show. They're probably going to be like 1 to 2 podcasts a month. And make sure you check out the other episode of the DJ Bagpuss Show Season 1 and 2. This is the series that launched it all, and the support that you show to the podcast means the absolute world to me. So please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Check out my other content as well. Check out my FIFA 18 content. I know I said that I don't like FIFA at the minute, but I've done a lot of content on it, and we're going to have a lot of content coming up on the channel regarding FIFA 18. And just check out all my other videos as well. This is DJ Bagpuss signing out. Until next time, take care, and I shall speak to you later. And hopefully you enjoyed this conversation on the death of FIFA and the dark side of FIFA and EA. Take care, and I shall speak to you later. Until next time, goodbye. See you later.